Welcome to Finding Holiness, where we delve into timeless Torah wisdom, revealing the sacred in everyday moments. Join us on a journey to elevate your spirituality and discover holiness in every aspect of life. I'm your host, Rabbi David Kadosh, and together, let's embark on a path of spiritual exploration. I hope you enjoy this next episode. We're continuing with our Mishnayot in Mishna Ketubot, Perek Aleph, Mishnah Vav. Tonight is the Shloshim of our dear friend Leon's mother, Simi Bat Luna. Ruach Adonai tinichena began Eden, Yom Pekidat Chodshah. So the Mishnah says, Hanose Taisha velo matza la betulim. Someone married a woman expecting that she was a virgin, but when he cohabited with her, he didn't see any signs of virginity. Hi omeret, she says, Misherastani ne'enasti venistahfa sadecha. I was violated by another man when you betrothed me. Okay, so between the first stage of marriage and the second stage of marriage, so after Irusin. And the term is nistahafa sadecha, means your field was flooded, meaning that you're tough luck. Okay, I didn't do it purposely. Someone violated me. That's why I don't have my virginity. And therefore, since it's your bad luck, you still owe me the full ketubah. You still owe me the 200 maneh for a virgin lady. Vahala omer. But he says, no, lo, ki ela ad shelo erastich, ve'aya mikachi mekach ta'ut. Maybe you lost your virginity before I betrothed you for Erusin, and this was called mikach ta'ut. It is a mistaken purchase, this whole thing. This is not what I expected, and therefore, you are not entitled to any ketubah, in fact, because you lied to me. So this is the argument between the two. Rabban Gamliel veRabbi Eliezer omrim ne'emenet. Rabban Gamliel and Rabbi Eliezer says she is believed and she can collect her ketubah because of the rule of chazakah. Chazakah means that until we know that something has changed, then she remains in the status that she was. Every woman is born a virgin. Chazakah tells us that she remained a virgin until it's proven otherwise. Okay, and therefore she gets her ketubah. Rabbi Yoshua argues. Rabbi Yoshua says, Lo mi pia anu hayin. We don't live by her word. In other words, we don't believe what she says. Ela harezu becheskat be'ula ad shelo titares vehitatu ad shetavi re'aya lidvareha. She's presumed to have been a non-virgin from before she was engaged. We assume she deceived him. Hitatu, she deceived him by letting him think that she was a virgin, and she has to bring re'ayah to her words. She's the one that needs to prove that indeed if she was violated, then she brings proof that she was violated, and then she could collect. Otherwise, we don't believe her and we believe the other ones. Mishnah Zayin. Hi omeret mukat etz ani. Okay, so similar situation. One married a woman, thought she was a virgin, lived with her, saw there was no virginity. Okay. And now she's saying, Mukat etzani. You're right, but I was struck by a piece of wood. Right? Like, again, that was a term that maybe she got injured, or she fell off a donkey, she fell something, and that's the reason why she lost her virginity. Okay? So she agrees that she lacked the virginity at the time of the final marriage of the Nisuin, but claims that the loss came from an accident before the Irusin, not from cohabitation. Vehu Omer, he says, Lo ki ela drusat ishat. It's not so. You were oppressed by a man. In other words, it's possible you lost your virginity because you cohabited with a man before Erusin. You're not entitled to ketubah. Here, similar machloket. Rabban Gamliel and Rabbi Eliezer omrim ne'emeret. Rabban Gamliel and Rabbi Eliezer says she's believed and she could collect her ketubah of one maneh. Rabbi Yoshua omer lo mipi anu hayin. Rabbi Yoshua says we do not live by her word. Ela yarezu becheskat drusat ish. She's presumed to have been engaged with a man, pressed by a man, meaning before she was engaged. She receives no ketubah ad shedavi re'aya lidvareha, unless she brings proof that indeed she was injured by a piece of wood. Okay, so the next two Mishnayot are also going to cite the disputes by these two sides, Rabbi Yoshua versus Rabbi Eliezer and Rabban Gamliel. The Mishnahs have nothing to do with a wife's ketubah payment, but they concern whether or not a woman is fit to marry a Kohen. What does it mean? The Torah prohibits Kohanim from marrying certain types of women. One of them is a divorcee. So it is possible for a woman to become forbidden to a Kohen through a single act of cohabitation. For example, if the cohabitation was with a mamzer or a close relative or with a halal, all these people would render this woman forbidden to the Kohen. So to protect a Kohen from marrying someone who is forbidden to him, the Chachamim imposed very strict rules on this. They decreed that if a woman was seen in a secluded place, in Yichud, with a man, with a stranger whose halachic status is unknown, a Kohen may not marry this woman because maybe there was a chance that this man was disqualified. One of these men that if he was to cohabit with her, it would make her unfit to marry Kohen, and that's what we're worried about. So this is what the next two Mishnayot are talking about. A woman was seen in seclusion with someone from the street, a stranger, someone we don't know. Amru la, they asked her, Mativo shelze, what's the status of this man? Meaning, was he a disqualified person? A man that if you were to live with would make you unfit to marry Kohen, or not a disqualified person? So she says, Ish ploni vekohenhu. He is so-and-so who is a Kohen. Here the word Kohen, who is not to be taken literally that the guy was a Kohen, but rather he was kasher. The lady says, he was kasher, you have nothing worried about. Rabban Gamliel and Rabbi Eliezer omrim ne'emenet. Again, Rabban Gamliel and Rabbi Eliezer says she's believed, and now she is still fit to marry a Kohen. Rabbi Yoshua omer, lo mipi anu chayin. Rabbi Yoshua says, we do not live by her word, we do not trust her. She's presumed to have cohabited with a mamzer or a natin. A natin, we learned already last year, is a descendant from the Givaonim, which is a group of Canaanim that tricked Yehoshua into thinking that they accepted, that they were converts. But David HaMelech banned them from marrying Jewish people. So this is what we assume. We assume that this guy is a mamzer or a natin, that if she cohabited with, she cannot marry a Kohen until she proves that the man was not disqualified. Mishnah Tet, similar situation. Hayta me'uberet. A woman was pregnant from an unknown man. V'amru la, and they said, Ma tivo shel ubar ze. What is the status of this fetus? Meaning, who's the father? Is the father a disqualified person? Okay, that would make you prohibited from marrying a Kohen or not? So she answers, Meish peloni vekohenhu. She said it was fathered by so-and-so person, and he was a Kohen, meaning he is a kosher person. Rabban Gamliel Rabbi Eliezer omrim ne'emenet. Rabban Gamliel and Rabbi Eliezer says she's believed. The woman and the child are fit to even for a Kohen to marry. Rabbi Yoshua omer lo mipi ainu chayin. Rabbi Yoshua said we don't live by her word. Ela harezu becheskat me'uberet lenatin u'mamzer. We assume that she was pregnant by a mamzer or a natin. Ad shetavi raya lidvareha.
So that means that if a woman is pregnant by another man, and if it's done by a man that's kosher, then it's okay for her to marry a Kohen even though she's pregnant with another man's child.
Okay, so there is another issue at stake. According to the Mishnah, it seems that's what's being implied over here. But Lemaaseh it's not pashut, because Shulchan Aruch in Even Haezer is very strict when it comes to the Kohanim marrying ladies, in terms of they have to be a kasher status. In fact, I know there are rabbis in the city that warn their congregants who are Kohanim. They pull them aside and they say, listen, you have a special status, and you got to make sure that the person you have is, try to be, in the best way possible, because Shulchan Aruch talks about it. Is it enough to not allow the marriage? I don't think so. But we try to make sure that the Kohanim are with for sure betulot, women that are classified officially as virgins. Again, everybody nowadays officially classifies a virgin, assuming they weren't married before. Okay, if they were married before, then again, the Kohen is not allowed to marry them anyways. Okay, so therefore, this is kind of the precaution that we do.
But it's pretty plain to see from what you just read that they allow it.
That what?
That they allow a woman that's been impregnated by a strange man to marry a Kohen.
Yeah. I think Me'ikar Adin from the Lashon of the Mishnah, that would be fine. That she's pregnant, she had a child, and therefore she can say the thing. But
obviously she can marry Israel, of course.
Yes. That's.
But then again, when somebody lives with somebody and has a child, it's like Kedushin. So why would you say?
No, it's not. It's not kiddushin. It's not kiddushin because there's no witnesses that saw it. In order for it to count as kiddushin, like we learned in the last Mishnah, you need to have edim there, and they were going in for the purpose of kiddushin. Just because someone has a child out of wedlock, that doesn't mean that they're officially married. The child is still Jewish. The child is an Israel. The child is or Israelite, and it's not a mamzer. But it's not necessarily out of kiddushin. Maaseh Amar Rabbi. Maybe the next Mishnah kind of puts it all together. Amar Rabbi Yosef. Rabbi Yosef says, Maaseh betinoket sheyarda lemalot mayim min ha'ayin v'neinsat. There was a story once where a young girl went to draw water from a spring and was violated. She was violated by a stranger. And she claimed that he was not a disqualified person. He was kosher. Amar Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri says, Im rov anshe ha'ir masi'in lakeuna harezot tinaseh lakeuna. If most of the men in the town can marry off their daughters to Kohanim, that is, most of the local men are not disqualified, this girl may be married to a Kohen. But if half or more of the men are disqualified, then a Kohen should not marry her. And again, this is just the beginning of a long set of halachot, where it's not necessarily means that a Kohen can just go and marry a woman who cohabited, because do we know that for sure that the men are non-disqualified, are kosher? So these are the things that we try to avoid. Sometimes we can't, and in certain situations, I guess you got to go to your rabbi to figure out what's the best move. Okay, Mishnah Bet. Perek Bet. Sorry, Perek Bet. Mishnah Aleph. Haisha. Okay, let's just recap. If a husband divorces his wife, or the husband dies before her, we said that she pays a certain amount of money. If she was a virgin when she got married, the ketubah is 200 zuz. And if she was a non-virgin, the ketubah is 100 zuz. That's what we learned in the second Mishnah of the first chapter. Now we're talking about a situation where the widow or divorcee claims 200 zuz, that she was a virgin, but lost the ketubah. And that's where it was recorded that she got 200. Haisha shenit armela o shenit garesha. This is the law where a woman was widowed or divorced. Hi omeret betula nesatani. She says in the case of a divorce, I was a virgin when you married me. Vehu omer lo ki ela almana nesatich. He says, not true. You were a widow when I married you. So her word against his word. Im yesh aedim sheyatzta behinuma verosha parua ketubata matai. If there are witnesses to say that on the day of the wedding, of the Nisuin, she went out of her father's house to the groom's house with a veil over her eyes and her hair untied, then the ketubah is 200. The old custom back in the days was that a first-time married woman would have her hair untied, and the hair would flow down her back. That was a siman that she was like a first-time, and that was a sign that she was a virgin. So therefore, if there were anyone at the wedding that witnessed that, and that she was veiled, and she witnessed that, then we bring those edim, and indeed they do a ketubah of 200. Rabbi Yochanan ben Beroka Omer, Rabbi Yochanan ben Beroka says, Av chiluk kelayot re'aya. Even giving roasted grain to children Again, roasted grain, kelayot, we see in many places in the Talmud was like candy. That was the candy back then. They used to toast oats and they used to give it to kids as like treats. So when they gave roasted grain to children at weddings, that was a siman that she was a virgin. That was only done when a virgin got married, and therefore, if there are any witnesses that saw that when it took place, then as well she can claim that the Mishnah that the ketubah is 200. Okay, the next couple Mishnayot talk about a different subject, so I think we're going to stop here and we will continue tomorrow. Bezat Hashem.